Hey guys, welcome back to Sinclair Garage, where we diagnose antifreeze leaks and only antifreeze leaks. So, what we have going on here is more leaking. I was out driving it, came home, and noticed I had some more antifreeze on the floor from a different spot than I did before, right? The intake is not leaking anymore, which is good news. That's fixed. Where I have a leak from is the timing chain cover, right behind the water pump. Which means you gotta dump out all the fresh antifreeze I just put in. I'm gonna try and filter it and reuse it, so we'll see if I can or can't do that. So it's gotta get all this stuff torn apart, get the water pump off, get the timing cover off, get gaskets for it all, and put it all back together. So as you can kind of see, I've already kind of started with it. I've got the thermostat housing off, and then I got the water pump ready to come off. I got all the antifreeze drained, all the hoses off of it. And then we'll pull the timing cover off. I've never done this before. I don't know if I can pull that off without pulling the timing chain. I guess we'll find out. I hope I can. Never done this before. I did put a water pump on it once, but going into the timing chain cover, I never did. What you can probably see, let me get a better light. Right down there, if you can see all that rust, there is where it was leaking, and I was pulling in this area here. It was driving me nuts. So what I did is I completely cleaned it all out, blew it out with some compressed air. And you could see it just pulling here and only here. So it has to be where it's coming from. So here we go again. So that's, unfun part. I want to do something new, right? So here is going to be the next project. The stuff came in finally. We have, if I can open it, as you can see, spec. We got a new clutch, stage 1. All nice and pretty. Excited to get that on. This is the pilot bearing inside. But what I did is upgraded to a roller bearing type pilot bearing, which seems like that's the upgrade to do when you're doing these clutches. And this thing uses that Z equalizer bar for the clutch pedal, so I got a rebuild kit that comes with the new plastic bushings and everything as well. Because it seems like it's a little bit sloppy, so I want to get and rebuild that while we're in there. That'll be the next video once I get this stuff done. So let's get this going. Alright guys, well, have you ever been on a project and just irritate the crap out of you? That's what's happening right now. Alright, so I gotta take this timing cover off to replace the gasket. It's obviously leaking pretty bad. So, you have to take off the fuel pump and all the bolts, a couple bolts that hold the oil pan on that go through that. It's just a pain. I had to take off the V-belt pulley that connects to the harmonic balancer. This guy, obviously put it back at top dead center just so it's easy to put back on and know where it goes, which required taking this big bolt out. Now luckily I have good air tools. I'll give a shout out here to my handy Nitro Cat. This thing is awesome. 1056 XL. I love this. So short, stubby, it works perfect everywhere. Anywho, what I have to do now, I thought this thing basically split in two pieces. I thought the bottom of it went around the bottom of the crank, and the top went around the top part of the crank. Well, it turns out I got to take off the harmonic balancer because this thing, you know, is connected at the bottom, right? So you got to slide it through and off of the crank. So at this point I'm stuck. It's about, I don't know, 11 p.m. and I need a puller, which of course I don't have, so I'll have to go to like AutoZone or Advanced Auto and, you know, rent it. Not a big deal, but at 11 o'clock at night it is because I'm stuck. So what I'm going to do now is just kind of clean up some of the surfaces on the water pump. Alright guys, as you can see, we got the front tore back apart. Took me an extra day or so, because what you have to do, obviously I should have known but didn't think about it, is the harmonic balancer has to come off. So you had to buy, or go rent a puller from Advanced Auto just to get that pulled off. And then I couldn't find the seal. Obviously, when you tear these things apart, you better replace every seal you see, because if not, you know it's going to leak. If you have my luck, it's going to leak. So I got to replace the crank seal, which is on the front of the timing cover. So I got the other one pulled off. I'll get this one put in. Just as a helpful guide, I'm going to put a little RTV around the outside of it and stick it in. Helps it slide, and also keeps any weird seeping leaks from coming back. A lot of people don't do it. I always have, so that's what I'm going to do. You can see also that this timing cover where the gasket sits is really pitted, really bad. So I'll put an RTV, a finger smear, thin layer of RTV on that just to fill those little cracks and crevices. Put the gasket on. I'll probably put a thin layer on the block itself. It's pretty smooth, but just to be safe, I'll put a thin layer on it and slap it all back together. So that's what I'm going to do now. So like I said, replace every seal and every gasket you come across. That way you don't have to worry about them again later, because if you have my luck, you'll be doing it again. So that's what we're going to do. Here we go. So thanks for hanging out while we knock out this kind of quick antifreeze water issue. Not that exciting, but you know, these things got to get done. So thanks for hanging out. If you like this, subscribe to my channel, like the video. Please like it, that way we can start getting this out there. I have a lot of fun, exciting things coming up, so stay tuned to the channel. See you guys.